a rate that's safe for the American people.
Tonight on WTOL 11 Plus, today marks 1 week into the government shutdown.
Yeah, the shutdown is starting to make an impact on air travel.
That one person that was trapped, the captain immediately sequestered the help of just civilians that were standing around.
A scary scene on a California highway. A helicopter carrying multiple people crashes. Bystanders jump in to help one of the victims who was pinned under the wreckage.
Also, the FBI director is in Chicago. And just hours later, Texas National Guard troops arrived outside the city. This comes after both Chicago and the state of Illinois have sued to stop all of this from happening.
Tonight on WTOL 11 Plus Now, I'm Kaylee Barentette.
And I'm Jeff Smith. A North Toledo Community Center is at risk of losing its home.
The Friendly Center has been serving North Toledo for more than 100 years, but that could change if its building is sold. Sophia Perricone has more from the Vistula neighborhood.
It will look bleak for our young people, our seniors, knowing that there's not a safe place for them to come and to be able to have programs.
That's how Reggie Williams, program director of the Friendly Center, says the Vistula neighborhood could look if the center loses its home. The Friendly Center's landlord, New York-based group United Women of Faith, is selling the property on Superior Street. The center serves North Toledo, offering dozens of programs, from after-school youth programming to day programs for adults, and even re-entry programs for women coming out of jail.
It'll be a tragedy more so for the neighborhood, but shame on this city if we do not save this place.
Board member Deborah Sue says the Friendly Center was in private negotiations with United Women of Faith until a for sale sign popped up on the building, opening the sale to anyone, putting the center at risk of an outside buyer coming in and kicking them out.
We stressed a little bit, but we also realized the importance of us going into action to try and stop the sale.
Deborah Sue says the center did have a chance to buy the property a few years ago for just a single-digit value.
We as a board did not take that opportunity simply because of the status at that point.
But now it's up to $300,000.
This would be the first time the property would be owned locally, so we are looking to acquire it as the Friendly Center, keep going with our programming to focus in on the neighborhood.
Interim Executive Director Andrew Newby says the center is talking with local leaders to try and find that funding, but they're also calling on the community for help.
We're trying to avoid someone coming in and turning it into something that isn't necessarily consistent with supporting of the neighborhood itself.
Sophia Perricone is joining us tonight in studio. Sophia, they're hoping to get $300,000 to buy the building. Is there a deadline for that?
Yeah, Kaylee. So they're hoping to do this in 4 months, which is a lot of money for a short period of time. But that's why they're going to City Council to see if there's anything council could do, if the city could help. But they're also asking the community for donations as well. They do believe Toledo can come through for them, especially just with the community knowing how much they serve the Vistula neighborhood.
Would the Friendly Center be open to moving to another part of town, if someone else had space available?
That's something I definitely wanted to ask them, because someone might see this story and say, hey, I have a space in South Toledo. Why don't you guys come here? They said they've been in North Toledo in that same building for more than 100 years. They said these are their roots. They don't want to move. They are helping a younger generation whose parents and grandparents came through the Friendly Center. So it's just something, it would be like leaving a family, and they're not interested in that.
And they've been there for so long. We know that the Friendly Center was in private negotiations with the group who owns the building, and then they were surprised by the for sale sign, obviously, when they pulled up and saw that. Do they have any indication that that was even coming?
No, so yeah, they were in the private negotiations. Now you can't miss that for sale sign up there now. They said they were shocked to see that. Something they told me was a few years ago, the group that owns the property offered to sell them the building for a single-digit dollar amount, like $1. At the time, they said, we didn't want to do it. We weren't in the right place. Our programming wasn't at the strength that it's at now, so there was just no point in taking that. And now that price is up to $300,000. So they obviously have regrets, but they're just hoping there's a way they can stay in their home.
So can anybody buy that building now if it's for sale?
It is open to anyone. They are actively showing it to people, and every
Wow.
time someone comes in to look, obviously the people in the center get very nervous because they don't want to see them, they don't want to be kicked out because a private buyer could come in, say, we're tearing down these buildings, you got to go.
Now, with the Friendly Center in limbo, are they moving forward with programming, or is everything on pause until they work out a deal with where they could be?
They are moving forward as if nothing's happening. They're trying to sort of manifest just, we're going to be here forever. They said until they know they have to be out, if that even happens, they're going to keep planning things for kids, adults during the day. They'll keep giving out free meals to the community. They don't want anyone to be impacted by this, even though they have no idea what's coming.
Wow, definitely a tough situation. Sounds like there's going to be some updates in the future to stick along with. All right, Sophia Periconi joining us in studio. Jeff, we're going to send it over to you.
Checking the stories making headlines across the country and around the world. Canada's Prime Minister meeting with the President at the White House earlier today. We'll touch on that. Also, helicopter crashes on a busy California highway. Wait until you see that. National Guard troops have arrived in Chicago. But first, today marked 1 week since the government shutdown first began. The ongoing shutdown is beginning to directly impact air travel. A dozen Federal Aviation Administration facilities across the U.S. saw staffing shortages last night as air traffic controllers were calling off sick. Controllers are considered essential workers, so they must work during the shutdown but are not being paid. 12 FAA facilities saw staffing shortages Monday night. FBI Director Kash Patel is headed to Chicago as the Trump administration moves to send the National Guard there and to other Democratic-led cities. Just hours later, Texas National Guard troops arrived outside of the city. Now, both Chicago and the state of Illinois have sued to stop the federalization, as they call it, of National Guard troops from their state and Texas. A judge did not block deployments yet, but gave the administration until the end of Wednesday to explain why she shouldn't do so. Attorney General Pam Bondi said Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche is also on his way to the Windy City. Federal investigators are trying to figure out what led a medical helicopter to crash on a busy freeway in California. 3 people tonight are in critical condition. That chopper slammed onto the highway in Sacramento Monday night, shortly after taking off from the UC Davis Medical Center. Fire officials say 3 people were on board: a pilot, a nurse, and a paramedic. Bystanders jumped in to help one of the victims who was pinned under the wreckage. No one on the ground was hurt, however. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney came to the White House today to discuss his country's economy. Tariffs imposed on Canadian goods coming over the border into the U.S. are hitting the economy hard. According to the Canadian government data, the unemployment rate hit 7.1% in August, the highest level since May of 2016, outside of the pandemic. The president issued tariffs on cars, steel, and aluminum, which are key Canadian exports to the U.S.
Still to come, the story of how a new center is helping Texas families with children find special needs, find care and support.
And the last of those rain showers tapering off and moving southeast this evening. We are going to be in store for a big autumn cool down. I'll show you how chilly it gets in your full 10-day forecast. That's coming up next.
We have the latest with what's trending on social media, and right now there's a video you have to see on our TikTok page. Here's Laura Sandlin.
Do you know that over 15 million adults and 6.5 million children across the United States are affected with diagnosed ADHD? And according to a ProMedica psychiatrist, while these symptoms are very similar in both adults and children, they do present themselves differently. For children, symptoms often appear as disorganization, having trouble staying focused or completing lengthy tasks, as well as other things. In comparison, for adults, ADHD often presents itself as issues of staying focused, being able to follow through on tasks, and additional things. And if you suspect that you might have ADHD, or if you just have additional questions, just go ahead and consult with your doctor. They can help to tell whether or not medication might be the right route for you, or if you should look into more natural plans such as behavioral therapy, IEPs, school plans, and more. The emphasis with ADHD Awareness Month is all about early intervention as well as breaking down stigmas.
Make sure you're following WTOL 11 on your favorite social media platforms to stay up to date. Well, Amazon has kicked off its 2025 Prime Big Deal Days. It's a two-day event for major fall sales. This comes right after the company's annual summer blowout sale and right before the holiday season really starts to ramp up. This event lasts until Wednesday and is exclusive to Prime subscribers.
That's a short little window.
Yeah. They want you to act fast.
I guess.
I hate to say it, I've already acted. It wasn't any holiday shopping for others, more so just little gifts to myself. But hard to believe. It's so hard to believe we're already talking about, Christmas shopping and holiday shopping. Although kind of starting to feel like spooky season outside as we have one holiday at a time. Starting off with Halloween, going to be feeling like it with those rain showers and the cooler feel to follow. So
Did you buy yourself a costume? What did you get?
No, I didn't buy a costume. It was more so, when you click on the buy again thing, there's so many suggestions of necessities that you go through, more frequently. So
understood.
Yeah.
Maybe a new clicker for some of your maps.
Yeah, we definitely could use one of those. Just got new chairs in the weather center the other week too. I don't know if they came from Amazon, but I do want to jump into that spooky forecast that does have a little bit of those showers as well as a chilly feel that's going to be arriving midweek. Highs are going to be in the 60s with some patchy frost possible. So if you're thinking the bus stop Thursday or Friday mornings, it is going to be chilly. Might even be able to see your breath with those overnight lows dipping down near 40 degrees. The last of the showers exiting south and east. There is a cold front currently draped right across areas like Wyandotte and Crawford counties that is producing the last of those steadier showers that are now moving towards Mansfield. There is another little stripe of some lighter showers that is slowly dissipating, although northwestern suburbs could see a few spotty sprinkles. So how much rain fell today? Well, the bulk of the rain actually occurred southeast in Seneca County and Huron counties. Some of those bright pink and red colors that you see indicate some rainfall totals that radar is indicating at 1 to 2 inches, with some spots up to about 2.5 inches of rain. In southern Michigan, there were also some decent rainfall totals from Monroe back towards Adrian. 1 to 2 inches of rain occurred earlier in the day. And the Toledo Metro honestly did not get a whole lot with these showers. Temperatures are dropping in the wake of that front, still in the 70s south, but 50s north and northwest. And that's a sign of a big change in the weather coming our way with this cold front. So the hour-by-hour timeline, let's look at that timing. Rain shower is going to be totally done by about 8:30 to 9 p.m., exiting into eastern and central Ohio. And then as we look towards the overnight, clouds clear out, skies clear, and that is going to make for a chilly start to the day. We're going to be down in the 40s tomorrow morning. I'm not expecting frost for your Wednesday. It's more so Thursday and Friday that could produce a little bit of patchy frost. Highs are only going to be in the mid 60s, mainly sunny, and a much cooler feel with that classic autumn chill. Patchy frost chances going to be possible Thursday and Friday. I'd recommend covering up any sensitive outdoor plants that could be affected by those temperatures in the high 30s. We're going to be near 40 in the metro. Best chance to see frosty weather, likely to be north and west in areas like Hillsdale County. So the hour-by-hour forecast tomorrow morning, Lakeshore County stays a little milder. 40s across the metro and low 40s possible north and northwest. Afternoon highs in the 60s, and here's that frosty morning Thursday. With the exception of the Lakeshore, just about everyone could see a bit of patchy frost, but it's really areas west of I-75 that are going to see the most widespread frost-related impacts, with those lows dipping down to the upper 30s. So weather impacts ahead, including that patchy frost late week, although temperatures do turn a little milder, and overall it's going to be a mild and sunny stretch of October weather looking ahead without any rain chances for essentially that entire 10-day forecast. The weekend brings those highs back up to 70 degrees Saturday and Sunday. We do climb back to the mid 70s with some more seasonable fall conditions, and we are likely to stay dry for at least the next week, if not week and a half. Kaylee, Jeff.
Well, across the state of Texas, tens of thousands of children with disabilities are waiting for access to Medicaid-funded home and community-based care.
But one new center in the Houston area is helping families find relief right now. Ugochi Iloka has this story.
Tender Care PPEC has been around since 1988, with branches in Florida and now here in the Houston area.
We're here as a village for the family. We're an extension of their family.
They just opened up their first location in Texas, in Richmond, to serve Fort Bend, Harris, and surrounding counties.
Sometimes the families might get these diagnoses where they say the child can't walk. They may not get as many physical therapy sessions at home versus what they can at the center. And so we do see these kids start to walk.
A PPEC is a prescribed pediatric extended care center that provides medically fragile quality child care services in the least restrictive environment. Dania De La Rosa is the nursing director administrator here.
I worked in ICU, and just seeing the kids from that aspect to now a happy environment. I mean, kids are so resilient, especially like our special needs kids that we see.
The center also creates a sense of normalcy for moms like Nina Okafu and her 3-year-old son, Makayo.
He started off in a typical daycare setting, but he ended up getting really sick. And so I reached out to her because ultimately they did not want to continue further care with him because they were afraid of the G-tube, his feeding tube.
On top of having Down syndrome and autism, little Makayo had trouble taking in food regularly, which Nina says traditional daycare staff didn't want to deal with.
And from then on, no other daycare would accept him.
Until now. Nina tells me even though her son has only been attending tender care for a little while now, he acts like he already owns the place.
He just walks around very confident. He loves the staff, loves the nurses. Like, he treats them like they're his second moms.
Tender Care's transportation van that they use to pick up children with special needs from their house and bring them right here to the center. Now keep in mind, they'll even pick kids up about an hour away, and the cool thing is it's wheelchair accessible for families who need it.
Me and my husband were doing it alone for the longest, and it's hard. It's hard, and it doesn't have to be hard.
Majority of their patients are on Medicaid, which covers PPEC costs, bringing relief to parents like Nina.
I do, and it's been a struggle, especially, before I knew about PPEX and him being turned away because of his disability.
Give yourself so much credit because you never stop fighting for your son.
Still to come tonight, a shooting in South Toledo. Toledo police officer shoots a man. One officer also injured. What we know at this hour.
Plus, an 11-year-old has died after getting hit by a car while riding a bike. Why city officials say they've been monitoring this intersection that it happened at.
City leaders looking to clean up the city. One way is to make sure that landlords provide dumpsters to people they evict. We spoke to those who are for the idea and those who aren't sold on it just yet. Thanks so much for being with us on WTOL 11 Plus now.
Here's a look at some of the local stories we're following for you tonight. One Toledo police officer is recovering, and others are on paid leave after a shooting in South Toledo. Police say they were helping remove a man from the Brookview apartments just after 7 this morning. They learned that the person may have been wanted for robbery. When they found him, he drove off and eventually crashed on Airport between Byrne and South Avenue. Authorities say he pointed a gun at officers, which resulted in the suspect being shot by police. He was taken to a hospital, but it's not clear how he's doing tonight.
An 11-year-old is dead after he was hit while riding his bike in West Toledo last night. Police have identified the child as Devontae Bailey. According to the police report, the 76-year-old driver who hit the child Monday night said that they had a green light and the child was not in a marked crosswalk. The release indicates that the driver was going south on Jackman, which today, when WTOL 11 crews were at the intersection, it had a flashing yellow light. The city of Toledo tells us that it has been studying the intersection since May of this year to determine if a two-way stop or a four-way stop would be safer for both drivers and pedestrians. With a flashing light, traffic now moves through Jackman without stopping, while traffic coming to Hillcrest and Marlow does come to a stop. The city says it plans on continuing the removal study until May of next year. Changes could be coming for landlords in the Glass City. City Council is considering requiring landlords to provide dumpsters for evictions. City Council member Nick Comey says this is a common practice in other cities, and after talking with community members, they want to see the blight in the city addressed. He says when trash sits in a neighborhood, it's an issue for more than just the property owner.
We're tired of the trash sitting out on the streets, and so we need to clean it up. And I think that anybody, including any property owner, would say that this is a necessary move because everybody's value depends on the cleanliness of the neighborhood. So it is impacting everybody no matter what, so something has to give.
City Council had its first reading about this ordinance today. Other council members say they agree there is an issue, but they want to hear other ideas about how to address these piles.
Can you say fair contract? Fair contract.
The United Steelworkers held a rally at Promenade Park this morning to support their members on strike at Libby Glass. This was going on with a glass conference taking place just down the street. Libby Glass workers have been on strike for more than a month now. Union workers say they're pushing back against proposals to cut seniority rights and reduce benefits.
All we want is a fair contract. Libby needs to come back to the table. They need to come back and talk to us. We need to resolve the issues that they think they have. We're ready to do that, and we've tried to do that, but they continue to say they're not going to talk to us.
Union leaders say workers sacrificed $31 million in wages and benefits to save the company from bankruptcy in 2020, and now they just want Libby to return the favor.
The Toledo Northwestern Ohio Food Bank has received a gift that will feed thousands. A check went to the food bank and it was thanks to First Energy on Thursday, totaling $75 grand. Every dollar they have translates to 5 meals. And this money will provide approximately 375,000 meals. As federal cuts are being made, especially involving food, the food bank is grateful to have corporate citizens like First Energy.
We're coming up on the holiday period, and we're coming up on the winter season, and that's when the need is greatest. And so I think the timeliness of the gift is important for us being able to leverage those resources to meet the increased level of need.
So there you hear it right there. If you are in need of food assistance or would like to contribute to those in need, you can find a link to do so on our website.
Well, don't forget to check out some of the other exclusive content we have here on WTOL 11 Plus. On Try This, Dan Cummins and Amanda Fay try some jobs they've never done before, including picking up pet waste.
Getting the poop. Scanning. Okay, you said this is kind of the jackpot area? Oh, yeah. This is the bigger one. Woo! Get it. Oh, it's stuck on the rake. Oh. It's stuck on the rake. Got it. Oh, there's one. There we go. There. Teamwork. Okay. So it doesn't bother you to pick up the poop?
It doesn't at all. And you know what? It's not as stinky as you think it would be.
Not even on a day like today?
Maybe today.
Maybe today.
It's
a mushy one.
That is a mushy one. Okay. In we go. All right. Yeah. Well, yeah, I can fully understand why someone would pay someone to do this for them. But I think I'm gonna leave it up to Carly next time.
So the dogs were adorable. It was so hot that I can remember.
Did you gag?
So I did. There was one that I was like, yeah.
What's comparable? I did try this at Hooves. At the Hooves farm.
Yeah, the horse, yeah.
And we're talking as big as your fist type stuff. I would be shoveling up.
Yeah. No fun.
That's a crappy assignment.
Yeah. Oh, well, if you want to watch the full episode of that, try this. That's coming up next.
Yeah, don't eat before or after. Funny enough, we're going right into a food story. What are the odds? Arby's has added a new item on the menu.
Oh, and it has to be.
And it looks like a turd. These are actually steak nuggets. They have nothing to do with the previous story. You can enjoy them 3 different ways, kind of like those turds. You can either order the steak nuggets entree, which comes in a 5 or a 9 count, the steak nugget sandwich, or the steak nugget bowl. Oh my gosh, the flow in this segment. They are available now at Arby's restaurants nationwide for a limited time only. Good for them. We're going to hear about that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm hungry anymore.
That's fine. That's fine.
I'm actually having steak for dinner, and I don't know if I want it anymore.
Just think good thoughts. Let's talk about the weather forecast.
Yeah, we do have some good vibes
Finally,
with the weather.
fall weather.
Yeah, finally that cool down arriving, so you have to break out the long sleeve or the jacket. Frost possible as well, with those temperatures at the bus stop going to be in the upper 30s to lower 40s. Highs tomorrow going to be in the mid 60s once the last of those showers wrap up this evening. And the weekend looking a little milder as we rebound to the 70s. Lots of dry days ahead, so if you didn't really get a ton of rain today, you're going to have to be patient with the drought likely continuing, and it is possible that we go the next 7 to 10 days without a drop of rainfall. So the biggest weather impact simply going to be those cooler temperatures that we haven't felt this season. Normal first frost is around October 6th, so seeing a frost this week right on par with when you would expect those first sub 40 degree temperatures. Jeff, get it?
I may, while you're enjoying your dinner tonight, just have to have a video going saying, what are you thinking about? What do you think about now? Oh, how about now?
You have to check it out on our TikTok.
We'll see you next time.
I don't want to eat my dinner yet.